Hey guys, Captain Foley here. I just finished watching episode 13 of Discovery. The past is Prologue. I gotta say, fantastic episode. This is my spoiler-free first reaction to it. This one really ramped up the excitement, ramped up the action, ramped up a lot, and there was a lot of satisfying payoffs in this one. It did come together rather quickly. And there was never really a dull moment in this one. So that's absolutely awesome. I do have to say I was on the edge of my seat for a lot of it, especially at the end, hoping against hope that certain things would happen. Certain things did happen. We still haven't got any clear answers. This almost felt like a season finale with the way it ended up. So I think there's still 2 or 3 more episodes left of Discovery. So I'm looking forward to seeing where they go from here for sure. As I said, I mean, I've got my notes here from my second viewing for our full review tomorrow, and I'm excited to talk about it because a lot happened, and it's definitely something that I didn't expect. I didn't expect a lot of it, but I'm happy. I'm happy that a lot of this happened. There's some points that I'm really disappointed about. Like I said, it's spoiler free, so I can't really say much. What happens to certain characters kind of bum me out, but overall, as an arc, as a story, this was pretty awesome. I'm not going to say what happens exactly. As I said, this is spoiler free, so I don't want to get too much into the details, but I can say that this one's really exciting. The last couple have been really good. The Mirror Universe has really held a lot of interesting things for us to see and to experience, and I am looking forward to what they do in the future from moving forward from here. I think there's still going to be there's definitely some issues they need to resolve. Story, like in the universe and the story-wise, not for the show itself. The show, I think, is actually starting to find its legs, and we know with Star Trek shows, usually season 3 or 4 is when they really hit their stride. So with it being the way it is right now, I'm pretty impressed, actually. I know once we get like season 4 or 5, if we do get those, we're going to look back on season 1 and kind of maybe cringe a little bit. I mean, we do with TNG. We cringe a little bit watching that. Voyager was pretty consistent as far as storytelling goes, but TNG, because Gene Roddenberry was involved like from the very beginning, it was very much his vision before it kind of got taken out of his hands and changed a little bit. I think it was season 3 or 4 that happened. Even Deep Space Nine, you know, looking back on those first 3 seasons is like very cringy, very cringy. But anyway, I'm very impressed with what I've seen so far on Discovery. It just keeps getting better and better for me. Now, that being said, a lot of the problems I had with the show initially are kind of falling away, and I think it's very much because of the way that they're telling the story. They're actually doing a pretty good job, and it is ramping up to the excitement level. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do in future seasons, what they do in future episodes. As I just keep saying that, I just keep looking forward to what's coming next, because there's so much possibility here and so much that they can do right. And because I know a lot of people feel very wronged by Discovery for a lot of different reasons. If you go back and watch our videos, we kind of talk about those things. And yeah, I do a little bit as well. I mean, I did from Enterprise too. Enterprise had a lot of issues initially, and just with the storytelling, where they decided to place it in the Star Trek timeline and canon, and those kind of bothered me. They still do a little bit. They had all the potential in the world to fix it with the Temporal Cold War, and this Discovery is actually kind of the same parallel right now for me. I'm watching it, I'm actually enjoying it, and I'm hoping against hope that they use the possibilities and the science fiction storytelling that is inherent with Star Trek to fix some of the issues that might be involved canon-wise. I know a lot of people will complain and say that, you know, I'm a Trekkie canonista fanboy, or TOS fanboy, whatever. But the fact is, when you shoehorn something into a particular timeline, a particular point in a show's history, you need to kind of follow a few rules that apply to that time era, that time period, and just the overall look and feel of that era. I mean, if like we've said all along, if they put this post Voyager, no one would have a problem with it. If they had gone in initially saying that this is a visual reboot, or that this is the Kelvin timeline, I think a lot of people would have little issue with it. But to say that it was prime timeline, shoehorned in between Enterprise era and TOS, 10 years before TOS, as a matter of fact, where we know a lot of what's going on based on old shows and old storytelling, and we know the visual style, we know all that. They've kind of stepped out of the box with this. Might have annoyed a few people, probably a lot of people, and maybe myself included, but I think, like I said, they have the potential to fix things and to make things better, and at least line up a little bit more with what we as the fans have come to know and love. And I think if they do it properly, and they have every opportunity to do so with the storytelling that they're doing here, they can definitely fix those issues and give the show that much needed panache that I think would really have it stand out in the pantheon of Star Trek storytelling. And as it is right now, some of the episodes that have been in season 1 for Discovery have been pretty fantastic and are actually up there with some of my favorite Star Trek episodes. I don't want to get roasted by all the Discovery haters. There are a lot of Discovery haters out there. And I understand that. There were haters for TNG, there were haters for Voyager, there were haters for Deep Space Nine, and there still are. A lot of people don't like those particular things, and they will not shake their views. Unfortunately, I don't have that luxury, nor do I really want it. I've really enjoyed every iteration of Star Trek. It is all Star Trek, even the Kelvin timeline, the JJ reboot. Yeah, not the biggest fan of it, as you guys might know, but at the same time, I watch it, I own them all. It's something that is a part of Star Trek history and needs to be respected a little bit. I know they don't necessarily respect what came before or the actual franchise sometimes. It seems like they don't. But I think there's a lot of well-meaning people behind the scenes that are trying to make things, fit and stay in the right vein, as it were. So that's where I stand. Anyway, this episode was fantastic. Lots of twists and turns, but at the same time, very predictable. The ending did wrap up rather brusquely, and like I said, it was very action-packed, very, very well thought out, I thought. Again, there was a lot of things that were never explained as to what happened to so-and-so or what happened to this, and that's been kind of the way that Discovery's been going. With the episodic Star Trek we've had in the past, usually going to wrap up everything in a nice tight little bundle per episode. Since this is a wide sweeping arc and not episodic, we are getting a good story, but we're almost in the second story right now, and a lot of the little things, like what happened to the I think it was the Hulkins, or the Pavo, the planet of Pavo, the inhabitants there. That was never wrapped up sufficiently enough for me. They were heavily talked about in the first part of that episode. Second part, they were just orbiting the planet. That's where everything happened, and then forgotten. There was one glaring omission from this episode as far as character and story plot goes, but I'm sure that will be followed up very soon, especially considering what happened at the end, because this could really go multiple ways. And they did make a statement at the end that kind of talked about where they were, but they didn't clarify specifically. Like I said, I don't want to give too much away. I don't want to give anything away because it's a spoiler-free review. I just want you guys to know it was a good episode. You need to watch it. And if you like what's happened before, if you like the characters, I think you're going to like a lot of them a lot more after this one. You might be shocked by one or a few things that happened, but overall, I think it was pretty predictable. I maybe didn't expect certain things to develop quite yet, I thought maybe another episode or two down the road, because like I said, this one felt very much like a season finale, just with the way it ended. But again, that's good storytelling, to keep you on the edge of your seat, wanting more for the next installment, and that's definitely where I'm sitting right now. I'm literally on the edge of my seat. I'm on the edge of the couch. Just watched it the second time. It was way more enjoyable the first time, I gotta say, not knowing what was coming, but to actually kind of get the nuances of it the second time is worth the extra viewing. So I'm looking forward to talking about it tomorrow with Samuel for the full full analysis video that we do. So anyway, guys, that's it for me for now, for tonight. I am going to go downstairs, edit this video together, get it out to you guys, and look forward to chatting with Samuel tomorrow and getting that video up for you guys as well. So until tomorrow, guys, when you'll be able to hear my full thoughts on everything and kind of get a vibe of what happened. I'm Captain Foley. I want you guys to live long and prosper, and I will see you in the future. Bye, everybody.